Have you ever thought that missing just one tiny spot in your daily shower could quietly be putting your health at risk? It might sound like a stretch, but growing evidence shows that neglecting certain parts of the body, especially after 60, can lead to real health problems. These aren't just cosmetic concerns. We're talking about hidden threats that can slowly weaken your immunity, cause infections, or affect your comfort and confidence in ways you never expected. In today's video, we're going to gently walk through 5 commonly overlooked body areas, places that older adults tend to miss, not out of laziness, but because no one ever told us how much they matter. These spots may seem small, but when they're ignored day after day, they can quietly become gateways to deeper health issues. And here's something you may not know. One of these areas takes less than 10 seconds to clean, yet it's closely tied to your immune response. Stay with us through the end. You might be surprised by what you've been missing and how just a small change in your routine could help protect your well-being for years to come. Number 1, the feet. Let's begin where many of us end our day. Our feet. They carry us, support our balance, and quietly absorb the stress of each step. And yet, for older adults, they are often one of the most neglected parts of the body when it comes to daily hygiene. You might assume that letting the water run down in the shower is enough to keep your feet clean, but here's the truth, especially as we age. Our feet need much more than a quick rinse. Conditions like reduced circulation, diabetes, or weakened immune function mean your feet can become a silent entry point for problems if they aren't cleaned with care. Warm, damp spaces like between your toes or under your nails are a playground for fungal infections. Something as minor as a bit of athlete's foot can grow into serious skin conditions like cellulitis or ulcers that take weeks or even months to heal. And because nerve sensitivity often declines with age, you might not even feel the warning signs until the problem is already advanced. Dead skin, cracked heels, and lingering moisture can quietly break down the skin's defenses, allowing bacteria or fungi to slip into your system without much notice. That's the danger. But the good news, it only takes 5 to 10 seconds per foot done mindfully to change everything. Use gentle movements to clean around and between the toes, under the nails, and along the heel. When you're done, take the time to dry thoroughly. That step alone helps prevent fungal growth, and a small amount of moisturizer afterward. That's not vanity, that's protection. Healthy, resilient skin starts here. Think of this simple habit as more than hygiene. It's an act of vascular care, because when circulation weakens, the feet are often the first to show it through color changes, numbness, or wounds that won't heal. And yet, because our feet are farthest from our eyes, we tend to forget about them until they hurt. But the goal is not to wait for pain. The goal is prevention. You don't need expensive tools or special creams. Just your hands, warm water, and a few moments of intention. So the next time you step into the shower, don't overlook what's below. Reach down. Pay attention. Treat your feet not as an afterthought, but as a message from your body, asking for a little kindness, a little care. Number 2, the scalp. Let's talk about something that often goes unnoticed, your scalp. It might seem like less of a concern, especially if your hair has thinned over the years or you've moved to a simple, low-maintenance style. But the truth is, whether you have a full head of hair or none at all, your scalp still matters deeply to your overall health. Why? Because your scalp is skin, and like any other skin on your body, it breathes, it reacts, and it needs regular care. When it's ignored, it becomes a quiet collection point for sweat, natural oils, dead skin, and even dust from the air. And as those things build up, they can spark irritation, weaken your skin barrier, and over time, even affect your immune function. For older adults, this matters more than ever. With age, the skin tends to get drier and thinner. The scalp is no exception. And chronic dryness or flaking isn't just uncomfortable, it can create tiny cracks or sores that invite bacteria in. These minor irritations can easily escalate, especially if you've got other underlying health conditions like diabetes or compromised circulation. Here's something many people don't realize. Your scalp contains some of the most active oil glands on your entire body. That means oil accumulates faster here than you think. Left unwashed, that oil can harden and oxidize, turning into a breeding ground for microscopic organisms that you may not even notice until it's too late. And yet, many people start shampooing less as they age. It makes sense hair may feel more fragile. Or maybe you're simply not as active as before. But skipping scalp care altogether can actually increase your risk of inflammation, clogged follicles, and discomfort, especially if your scalp is exposed or your hair is thinning. Thankfully, the solution is gentle, simple, and doesn't take much time. Just a few minutes under warm water, using your fingertips to gently massage your scalp while cleansing can do wonders. This massage not only removes buildup, but also boosts circulation, supports lymph flow, and promotes relaxation. It's a small act of care with surprisingly broad effects. Remember, this isn't just about hygiene or looking good. It's about treating your scalp as part of your whole body health. Because when you care for your scalp, you're also caring for your skin, your comfort, and even your clarity of mind. So even if your hair is thin, short, or gone altogether, don't skip this step. Wash with purpose. Massage with intention. Give your scalp the attention it quietly deserves. And if this part of the video resonated with you, if you found yourself thinking, I've really overlooked that, you're not alone. Many people do. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes the smallest reminders bring the biggest results. Let's move on to the next area, because each part of your body has a quiet story to tell. And every one of them deserves a little more care as we age. Number 3, the navel area. Let's take a moment to talk about a place on your body that's small, often overlooked, and surprisingly important: your belly button. It might not be something you think about often. After all, it's just a tiny spot. What trouble could it really cause? But as we get older, our flexibility decreases, and it becomes easier to miss these little creases and folds during daily hygiene. And unfortunately, the navel is one of those places that can quietly collect a lot more than we realize. Sweat, dead skin, soap residue, and even lint from our clothing. When left unchecked, that buildup creates the perfect environment for bacteria, fungus, and even yeast to thrive. What starts as a bit of mild irritation can turn into something more serious, a condition known as omphalitis, which is an infection of the navel. It's more commonly seen in newborns, but it's now being reported more often in older adults, especially those with diabetes or weakened immune systems. The tricky part, the early signs are subtle. You might not feel any discomfort at first, but behind the scenes, redness, odor, or discharge may already be forming. And because healing tends to be slower with age, these small infections can take a long time to recover or lead to more complicated problems if ignored. In rare cases, a hardened mass called a navel stone can form a dark, foul-smelling buildup that requires medical removal. It may sound extreme, but it's a reminder of how even a tiny part of your body can become a source of discomfort or infection when left uncared for. The good news: keeping your navel clean doesn't take much effort. During your daily wash, wrap your fingertip in a soft washcloth or use a gentle cotton swab. Clean the inside of your belly button with warm water and mild soap. Don't scrub aggressively, just gently wipe away any buildup. And perhaps most importantly, make sure to dry the area thoroughly. Moisture that remains trapped can become a breeding ground for microbes. And if you have skin folds, past abdominal surgery, or a deeper navel than most. This little area deserves even more care. These simple steps are more than hygiene. They're preventative health, especially as your immune system becomes more vulnerable with age. So the next time you shower, don't forget this quiet, hidden part of your body. It might not be something you see every day, but it's still part of you and it deserves attention. 2. Sometimes, the smallest places carry the greatest reminders that caring for your body isn't about perfection, it's about presence. And even the tiniest habit, done with intention, can protect the life you're still unfolding. Number 4, the underbreast. There's a part of the body that few people talk about, yet for many older women, and some men too, it quietly becomes a daily source of discomfort. The area beneath the breasts. As we age, skin changes. It becomes thinner, more delicate, and less elastic. And when you combine that with the warmth and moisture often found under the breastfold, you get an ideal environment for irritation, inflammation, and even infection. This spot, often hidden from view and tucked beneath layers of clothing or undergarments, is easy to forget. And yet, it's one of the most important areas to keep clean and dry, especially in later years. Why? Because the conditions here, friction from movement, trapped sweat, limited airflow, can lead to a skin condition called intertrigo. It often begins with mild redness or itching, but when left alone, it can evolve into something far more painful. Open sores, fungal infections, or chronic rashes that require long-term treatment and cause lasting discomfort. Those most at risk include women who have experienced weight changes, natural breast sagging with age, or past breast surgeries. And since this area is difficult to inspect in the mirror, problems can develop quietly and worsen before they're even noticed. A common mistake many older adults make is assuming that a quick rinse in the shower is enough. But this area needs a little more intention. Lift the skin gently. Wash with mild soap and warm water. Rinse thoroughly. And most importantly, dry it completely. A soft, clean towel or cloth used specifically for this part of the body can make a real difference. And for those who are more prone to sweating, a small amount of unscented body powder or cornstarch can help keep the area dry and comfortable without irritating sensitive skin. This isn't just about avoiding a rash. It's about protecting the integrity of your skin, your body's natural barrier, and maintaining your comfort, freedom of movement, and yes, even your confidence. When neglected, this area can quietly rob you of peace day after day, but when cared for intentionally, it can restore ease and dignity to your everyday routine. The good news is, it only takes a few mindful seconds each morning to make a meaningful difference. So even if no one else sees it, even if it's hidden away, remember, this part of your body deserves the same respect, care, and kindness as the rest. If you've made it this far in the video and found this part helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Just leave a comment below with the number 4 to let me know you're still with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now might be the perfect time. We're here to share tips that help you live with more comfort, more confidence, and more control over your well-being. Thank you for being here. Your presence and support help us continue creating content that informs and uplifts. Let's continue because every part of your body tells a story, and every story deserves to be heard with care. Number 5, the groin area. There's a part of the body most people don't talk about yet. It plays a quiet but critical role in your everyday comfort, dignity, and health. The groin area. This region is one of the most sensitive on the body, and as we age, it becomes even more vulnerable. Not necessarily because of poor hygiene, but because of subtle changes: looser skin, deeper folds, weaker muscle tone. And when these changes go unnoticed, they create the perfect setting for chronic discomfort and even serious infections. The groin is warm, often moist, and tucked under layers of clothing, That makes it easy to forget, but in older adults, that oversight can build up over time. Moisture gathers in the folds, friction increases, and before long, you may begin to experience redness, itching, or a lingering irritation you can't quite pinpoint. It happens to both men and women. But here's the part few people admit. Many older adults feel too embarrassed to mention it to a doctor or even to acknowledge it to themselves. That silence can turn small issues into major problems, and it doesn't have to be that way. The skin in this area is thin and delicate. It's easily irritated by tight clothing, long periods of sitting, or the natural pressure of movement, and when not cleaned and dried properly, this environment invites bacteria, fungus, and yeast to thrive. Conditions like jock itch, yeast infections, or folliculitis often start subtly, just a bit of itching here or a red patch there. But left untreated, they can lead to painful sores, foul odors, or skin that breaks down and takes weeks or months to heal. What's more, infections in this area can spread quickly. The groin is close to major lymph nodes and vital structures. That means even minor skin issues can escalate if they aren't addressed early. And in older adults, once the skin's protective barrier is damaged, healing becomes slower, more difficult, and more frustrating. But here's the empowering part. You can prevent most of this with just a few mindful habits. Make it a non-negotiable part of your daily hygiene to gently wash this area with warm water and a mild, unscented soap. Use your hands or a soft cloth, never scrub harshly. After washing, rinse thoroughly and pat the area dry. Not rub, pat. If you find that moisture tends to build up, especially during hot weather or after activity, consider applying a light layer of talc-free body powder or a gentle barrier cream to reduce irritation and keep the area dry. For those who experience incontinence, this step becomes even more important. Always clean the groin area after any leakage. No matter how small, don't wait until there's a rash or a smell by then. Your skin is already overwhelmed. Caring for this area isn't just about cleanliness. It's about preserving your freedom of movement, improving your sleep quality, and protecting your confidence. Because when this area is healthy, walking feels easier, stretching feels smoother, and everyday activities become more comfortable. And more than that, it's about honoring your body, even the parts no one else sees. If you found this insight helpful and you're still watching, I'd love to hear from you. Just comment with the number 6 below to let me know you're still with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. We're here to help you live with more confidence, comfort, and peace of mind, one daily habit at a time. Thank you for being here. You deserve care, comfort, and good health at every age. As we reach the end of this journey together, it's worth pausing to reflect not just on hygiene, but on something deeper. Growing older isn't just about adding years. It's about paying closer attention to the little things that truly matter. You see, it's often the quiet, consistent habits like caring for parts of the body we tend to ignore that shape the quality of our later years. These aren't just routines. They're daily acts of self-respect, and they make a bigger difference than we often give them credit for. So, which of these 5 areas made you stop and think? Was there one you've unintentionally overlooked? The beauty of this stage in life is that wisdom isn't always about knowing more, it's about noticing more. About tuning into the small messages your body sends and choosing to respond with kindness, consistency, and care. Because every time you take those few extra seconds to cleanse, dry, and protect, you're doing more than cleaning your skin. You're preserving the home you live in your body, and that matters. If this video helped you see something in a new light, I'd love to know. Leave a comment below with one insight you're taking with you today, or simply share what spoke to your heart. And if you found this content valuable, Please consider subscribing and turning on the bell so you won't miss future videos designed to inform, uplift, and empower you or someone you care for. Your presence here matters. Your voice matters. And every small action you take toward well-being adds up to something bigger, a life lived with dignity, clarity, and intention. Thank you for being here. And until next time, take good care of yourself.